Hello everyone, Weather Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on the weather across Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. It is Saturday evening, November 23, 2024. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you guys like the video. I'd really appreciate it if you guys get this video up to 100 likes. If you don't know by now, that's how the YouTube algorithm works. We all like the video and then the YouTube algorithm pushes the video out to more persons who are in the path of these tropical systems so that we can keep everyone safe, especially during the peak months of Atlantic hurricane season. That's August through to October. Share this video with your friends, your co-workers, your relatives, and even your church brethren, and subscribe if you haven't yet done so. Leave a comment down below letting me know what the weather has been like in your area recently. Also, feel free to ask any weather related question that you might have about the future of the weather in your specific area. Alright, so let us take a look at the US National Hurricane Center 7-day graphical tropical weather outlook. And we can see that as of their latest update that just came out at 6:11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So this just came out almost 30 minutes ago, considering that it's 6:37 p.m. right now. We can see that they've stated that tropical cyclone activity is not expected during the next 7 days. And it seems like we won't be getting the next name on the list. We know that the last system that we had was Sarah. The next name on the list is Tony, followed by Valerie, then William. We'll see if we actually get all of those names or any one of those names before all is said and done with the Atlantic hurricane season. It's November 23 now. We only have about 7 days left if I'm not mistaken. So we'll see exactly what unfolds. Alright, so we're going to be looking at the next 7 days in terms of what the Euro and the GFS supercomputer models are showing. The ECMWF, we're going to be looking first at this one. And we're going to be keeping our eyes focused on the timestamp at the top. We're just going to be going out to the next 168 hours. That's the next 7 days. And we're going to be focusing our attention across the Caribbean right here. And we're also going to be looking for the moisture that's represented by the reds into the oranges, the yellows, the greens. Represents inches of rainfall. So let us see what the latest Euro model is showing that came out this afternoon between 3 and 4 p.m. Alright, so we see the moisture that's expected to continue building as we head into Sunday. Look at this across the central Caribbean to the eastern Caribbean. So as we head into Sunday, we see a lot of moisture. This is 9:00 on Sunday, which is actually 4 a.m. Look at that between Haiti and Jamaica right there. Some dark greens into the yellows that represents anywhere from 2 all the way up to 6 inches of rainfall. And as we continue to go throughout the day, this is 12:00 on Sunday, which is actually 7 a.m. More rainfall starting to push into portions of eastern and northern parishes for sure. By 18:00, that's 1 p.m. the rainfall definitely spread across majority of the island. As we head into Monday, not much difference, a lot of rainfall expected. So just to show you that we don't need to have something highlighted from the hurricane center for us to have a rainfall and flood triggering rainfall at that, because I'm 100% sure that there's going to be some amount of flash flooding taking place. As a matter of fact, there's already been flash flooding taking place today. I'm going to be showing you the footage shortly, but let's continue out to the next one, just 68 hours. So Tuesday, a lot of rain, dark greens, yellows, oranges, according to the Euro. Heading into Wednesday, we still have some amount of rainfall plaguing portions of Jamaica. Thursday, we start to see most of the rainfall now to the south of Hispaniola. Jamaica still getting in on some isolated rainfall right there. As we head into Friday, we're starting to get in on more whites across the island. We know the whites represent little to no rainfall, as we can see by the key at the bottom right there. And then we're gonna be going out for Saturday right now into alright, let's stop it right there. So right there on Saturday, 12:00, which is actually 7 a.m. on Saturday, November 30. And we see that we still have some amount of moisture that's going to be plaguing the waters of the Caribbean. Portion of Jamaica might still be getting in on some isolated showers. Let us see what the latest GFS is showing. So this GFS run just came out an hour ago. This is the 18Z run of the GFS. As of right now, it's showing the moisture. It's affecting Jamaica, the moisture associated with the frontal system. Definitely bringing strong winds, cool weather, and rainy weather, especially to northern parishes as we speak. Let's go out in time. So as we head into Sunday, look at this. 18Z on Sunday is actually 1 p.m. and we're seeing the dark greens. We're also seeing the yellows and the oranges. Something similar to what the Euro was showing. Lots of rainfall. As a matter of fact, that's flood triggering rainfall. That's a bit concerning if this actually verifies. Hopefully it's a case where most of it misses us, because boy, that could definitely spell trouble. We're going to be hearing about inundation for sure. Heading into Monday, heading into Tuesday, still see a lot of greens into the yellows, oranges, reds. And then we see some differences now. On Thursday, we see more whites. On the Euro, we saw rain for Thursday. On Fridays, where we saw the little to no rainfall, but now the GFS is showing rainfall for Friday. So we have some things to work out as we head into the latter part of the week. But we see that as we end the next 7 days, as we wrap up the 168 hours, both the Euro and the GFS must still have some amount of moisture to the south of the island, and also affecting portions of the island as well. And if we take a look at the accumulated precipitation forecast for the next 168 hours, the next 7 days, not much change. We highlighted this yesterday that we're still going to be experiencing a lot of rainfall across these very spots. Look at the areas that I'm highlighting here on the Euro 7-day rainfall forecast, and then we're going to be looking at the same areas on the GFS's 7-day forecast. So first of all, we know the dark reds or the burgundy colors represents up to 2 inches of rainfall, like what we're seeing here on the key on the right. The purples represents up to the 3 inches of rainfall. The pinks, the 4 inches of rainfall. Then we have the peaches, peach-ish or salmon-ish color, right up into the 8 inches of rainfall range, and we see a lot of that. That's going to be plaguing northwestern Venezuela, Colombia, Panama, Costa Rica, eastern Nicaragua, section of Honduras that just got lashed by Sierra, and Jamaica, especially the eastern portion of Jamaica right there across portions of the western peninsula of Haiti. We also see a lot of rainfall that's going to be in store for a portion of the Bahamas and Turks and Caicos, as well as portions of the Dominican Republic right there. And if we take a look at the GFS accumulated precipitation forecast, we're seeing that the very same spots are going to be getting in on a lot of the rainfall. And if we even zoom in a bit closer, we can see some slight shades of blues across eastern Jamaica. I don't know, the slight shades of blues represent anywhere from 10 maybe up to 12 inches of rainfall, if that actually verifies. Keep in mind that it was about up to the 10 to 12 inches of rainfall range that portion of Honduras was receiving, that got them a lot of flash flooding over a week ago. Not to mention villages cut off, landslides, bridges washed out, you name it. Boy, we hope it's not going to be something like that over the next couple of days across Jamaica. Hopefully it's just rain to cool down the temperatures and keep water in our pipes, because if we get too much at once, there's definitely going to be some amount of flooding taking place. And if we take a look at the close-up of Jamaica regarding the rainfall forecast, we see the Euro right here showing the yellows into the oranges, into the pinks, reds, and purples. That represents anywhere from 30 all the way up to the 100 and maybe 50 millimeters of rainfall range. 30 to 150 millimeters of rainfall, especially for eastern Jamaica. There's gonna be some amount of flash flooding taking place. That's just the Euro, and the thing is, we always look for consensus. We always look for agreement on these two main global models, the ECMWF from Europe and the GFS, that's the global forecast system from the United States. And we see that even the GFS has a lot of rainfall in store for Jamaica. The yellows, that represents the 30 all the way up into the oranges, the 50 to the 60 to the 70 to the 80 millimeters of rainfall range, the pinks up into the 90, and then the hundreds into the reds, and then the purples, and then the slight lighter colors, looks like white, but it's all the way up to, I think this is showing, if I'm not mistaken, it looks like 487, if not 387. That's a lot of rainfall either way. That is a lot of rainfall, and the rainfall is definitely going to be more focused across eastern parishes, and we know in terms of the elevation across the island of Jamaica, we have the highest mountain ranges in eastern Jamaica, so there could be some amount of landslides. Definitely we know that the Blue Mountain Peak is somewhere in here across northern St. Thomas, southern Portland for sure, up to 200 and what is the peak again, 200 and something meters, 2256 if I'm not mistaken. Remember I read it in a geography book once. But the mountainous the most mountainous portions of the island are definitely in the east. That's where the most of the rainfall is expected. So these rivers over here are definitely gonna be in spate, from maybe the Yalas River, the Morant River, the Plantain Garden River in St. Thomas, and we have a lot of other rivers here in Portland as well that could definitely be in spate with all of the rainfall that's expected. That's if we actually get what is being predicted, because I must say that when it comes to these troughs, the troughs can definitely bring the rainfall for real, but sometimes the rainfall is displaced, could be out to sea, could be maybe, I don't know, to the north of the island, to the east of the island, to the south of the island. So we have to take these forecasts with a grain of salt. As of right now, they're definitely forecasting a lot of rainfall for eastern parishes, and we see the consensus, so we're just going to be working with the consensus. Hopefully it's a case where it's more of a wrong situation, maybe something like what we had with Sarah, when we were talking about, oh, Sarah might bring us a lot of rainfall, and then we saw that most of the rainfall passed to the south of us. Boy, we can't take a lot of this rainfall at all, because the roads are already finished, potholes galore, and then can you imagine a bridge washing out? That would throw off everything at a time like this for many. Alright, so hopefully we don't get a lot of the rainfall that's predicted as of right now. It's especially eastern parishes that are in store for most of the rainfall. You know, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Surrey, like Portland, St. Thomas, Kingston, St. Andrews. So get yourself ready. Hopefully you all washed from yesterday, if not today, because boy, I'm pretty sure that as early as Sunday morning, as a matter of fact, it's already affecting portion of northern parishes. It's already been affecting northern parishes today, from Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, St. Anne's, St. Mary, Portland. I'm talking about that frontal system, so the rainfall has already been affecting them, and there's a lot more to come within the next 24 to 48 hours. If we take a look at the surface map of the Atlantic for this evening, we can see the blue spike lines right here associated with some cold front, reaching all the way from northern portion of North Atlantic all the way down to the west of Jamaica. It's now stationary right there to the west of the island, but we see the blue spike line right here to the north of us. So with the winds coming in, coming down like this, I'm pretty sure that we're getting in on the cool air across northern parishes, the windy conditions across northern parishes, and the rainy weather. It's already been plaguing portions of some northern parishes in Jamaica today. We can see the trough, the broken orange lines right here associated with the trough. That's going to be bringing us a lot of rainfall as we head into Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. We see another trough right here across the eastern Caribbean, and we see a ridge of high pressure right here across the waters to the north of the main development region, that we know is responsible for sending all of the easterly trade winds across the main development region into the Caribbean. And we see the red line right here to the bottom of the main development region associated with the intertropical convergent zone. And if we take a look at the visible satellite images of the Atlantic before the sun went down, we can make out all of these entities. The clouds associated with the frontal systems right here, reaching all the way from northern portion of North Atlantic all the way down into portion of the southwestern Caribbean. We can definitely make out the upper level wind shear pushing in from the southwest, blowing those high cold cloud tops off towards the northeast. We can see the clouds, showers and thunderstorms definitely lashing the waters of the central Caribbean, as well as Haiti and the Dominican Republic associated with that trough. It's this very trough that's going to be lashing Jamaica Sunday, Monday, Tuesday for sure. We can see the high cold cloud tops associated with this trough even better. Look at the yellows, the oranges, the reds. Lots of thunderstorms taking place as we speak across the waters to the south of Haiti and the Dominican Republic. They're definitely getting on some amount of rainfall as we speak. We see the high cold cloud tops being shared off, pushing those high cold cloud tops off towards the northeast. But the models are predicting that the heaviest weather is gonna start to come into portion of Jamaica as we head into Sunday. So we'll see exactly what unfolds with that. If we take a look back at the visible satellite images, we can make out the clouds associated with that other trough across the eastern Caribbean, and we can also make out the clouds associated with the intertropical convergence zone right here at the bottom portion of the main development region. We know the intertropical convergence zone is where the air from the northern hemisphere meets the air from the southern hemisphere, and we have a lot of rising air, clouds, showers, and thunderstorms formulating across this region. We'll be talking more about the rest of the Caribbean weather later on. Let us focus our attention on the prediction that was made in yesterday's video about the weather across Jamaica for today, Saturday, November 23, 2024. It was stated that the cold front has arrived, or maybe it has stalled out to the west of us, who knows, but that wasn't accepting us from getting any of the bad weather. We were definitely getting it on the windy conditions, rainy weather, cooler than average temperatures, especially across northern parishes, not southern parishes, more so northern parishes. And we saw what took place, because if we take a look at the visible satellite image that was posted right here on our Twitter page, Weather Jamaica, and I'd like for you to keep in mind that these posts aren't only made here on our Twitter page at Weather Jamaica, but they're also made on our Instagram page at weather.jamaica, on our TikTok page at Weather Jamaica, and on our Facebook page at Weather Jamaica 876. So if you have one of those social media platforms, please ensure that you follow us there, as we may post throughout the day that you can't afford to miss. So we highlighted the visible satellite image at around 1:11 p.m. highlighting some clouds coming into portion of especially northern parishes. We're talking about Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, St. Anne, St. Mary, Portland. But it wasn't as bad at that time as it was a couple hours later, because at around 4:25 p.m. the visible satellite images were posted, and they highlighted not only the amounts of clouds coming into portion of northern Jamaica with the rainfall, but even the sparkling yellow dots that we know represent some amount of lightning strikes, if not lightning flashes. Definitely having some thunderstorm activity across sections of western Portland, section of St. Mary, St. Anne, Trelawney, section of Hanover. Definitely gotten on the isolated thunder shower activity as well. And this was at around 4:25 p.m. So they were getting it from about 1 p.m. into 2, 3, 4. They've been getting played with it all afternoon. As a matter of fact, it's still going to be plaguing them tonight into tomorrow. So more rainfall is to come. And if we take a look at the visible satellite images of Jamaica before the sun went down, we can definitely make out that flow. We can see the flow even better right here to the east of us, more so from the northeast, but we see the upper level flow as well, pushing everything back, which is making more of the weather be confined to northern Jamaica. So it's coming in from the northeast and it's being pushed off again towards the northeast. So definitely having some trouble spilling into some southern parishes, which explains the heat and the lack of rain. But they've been getting it across Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, St. Anne, St. Mary, Portland throughout the afternoon. And if we take a look at the infrared satellite images showing the high cold cloud tops as the cumulonimbus clouds, we can make out the clouds coming in associated with the trough right here, coming into view off to the east of the island. We can make out some of the thunderstorms clouds right here off the north coast. You can see the blues, the greens, you can see the sparkling white dust that we know represents some amount of lightning strikes, if not lightning flashes for sure. Definitely gotten some thunder shower activity across those parishes just as predicted. And if we take a look at the Crossroads cam, this is from See Jamaica's YouTube channel. If you don't know by now, we have a partnership with this channel. They show live streams of Crossroads, the Kingston Harbor, the Panoramic City View, Halfway Tree, and they also show Flatbridge. So if I were you, I'd definitely subscribe, because they're planning on increasing the amount of cameras that they have in and around the island. So subscribe so that you don't miss out. So we can see that across Crossroads at around 2:50 p.m. definitely sunny for the most part, but look towards the north, look towards the hills of northern St. Andrew. Some of the rainfall that was plaguing portions of northern parishes definitely spilling into sections of some southern parishes. This is northern St. Andrew getting in on some dark clouds right here. And if we look over here over the western side, we see the sheets of rainfall right there, definitely affecting those spots in the upper portions of St. Andrew for sure. So that indeed confirms the rainfall for northern Jamaica, and some of it spilling into sections of some southern parishes, but more of the rainfall is definitely confined to the hilly areas or the northern portion of some southern parishes. So northern St. Thomas, northern St. Andrew, northern St. Catherine, northern Clarendon, northern Manchester, northern St. Elizabeth, northern Westmoreland, and we can see it all even better right here on the accumulated precipitation for the past 24 hours from the CIMH, that's the Caribbean Institute for Meteorology and Hydrology website. This map does indeed paint a picture of where we had the rainfall today in those purples, greens, yellows across especially northern parishes and sections of some northern portions of some southern parishes for sure. And we definitely have the comments coming in here from some of our subscribers as well as some of our followers confirming the rainfall in their area. We have John Gotti 9783 stating cloudy for real morning in St. Bess. We have cloudy from morning in St. Bess. We have Shireen 7126 stating rain and flooding in Hanover. Grand Palladium staff cars flooded out, lose their engines. Wow. So the flooding has already begun. I wonder how long it will take for the meteorological service to issue a flash flood watch, if not a flash flood warning. We even had a video here coming in from Focus Unknown, and he said in his video that it was definitely raining and flooding across Sandy Bay in Hanover. This is Sandy Bay right here, and we can definitely see the rainfall. This was posted at around 4:44 p.m. this afternoon. Look at the murky rushing water from left to right over this. Looks like a gully. Boy, the rainfall has already started just from the frontal system. We haven't even gotten on the rainfall from the trough as yet, and the flooding has already begun. This is crazy. It's foreboding for what's to come. We also have a comment here from Mahalia Williams 1749. Thanks for all your hard work. I'm a sucker for weather channels. I love the weather. Montego Bay getting a lot of rain. Thank you very much for confirming the rainfall, Mahalia Williams. Thank you so much. Let's see what Tanya Campbell 4764 stating. Overcast in the Kingston 8 era. Took your advice last night and finished my laundry early. Blessings. I'm glad you took my advice. I did my laundry too. We have Bob Brown 3953. Raining in Port Maria. We know that's in the parish of St. Mary, another northern parish. We have Pumpkin stating open my window and nearly drown not too long. I wonder what parish Pumpkin is located. Must be a northern parish for sure, just as predicted. We have on our Facebook page Esther Redsea stating cloudy and drizzling in St. Mary. Verona Burke, lots of rain in Ocho Rios. We have Sylvia Bando stating raining lightly in Brownstown, St. Anne. We have Verona Burke, lots of rain in Ocho Rios. Drini RJ, gale force winds in Portland. Thank you very much for confirming. So we're getting in on the strong winds on the north coast. We're getting in on the rainfall on the north coast associated with this frontal system. Thank you so much for confirming this. We have Judane _da_ Queen stating rain at Tier in Highgate. And we know Highgate is in St. Mary. We have Queen Grey Burrell. Only clouds where I'm at in Portland. Don _gal _chin. Raining in St. Mary from 3. And this was posted 1 hour ago. Let us see. We have Bonner _bay stating finally some rain. I wonder what parish that is. We have Sja _girl 876S stating raining in Mobay. And finally, we have one more comment coming in here from Gnome Without God stating rain a blast a St. Anne closer to Ocho Rios. So thank you so much for confirming the rainfall in your area as well. And if we take a look At the Cuban Doppler radar images, we can definitely make out some amount of a rainfall. The greens we know represents the moderate rainfall. Moderado is moderate. Fuerte in the yellows represents strong or heavy rainfall. So the latest images as of 5:30 p.m. and we saw that we're getting some rainfall across sections of Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, St. Anne, sections of Western Portland. Let's see if we reload these images, if it will show us the latest as of, I guess, 10 minutes ago, considering that it's 7 p.m. right now. Nope. Seems like the Cuban Doppler radar has glitched out again for the millionth time. My goodness. I don't know. It keeps glitching out. Wish the Jamaican radar would get fixed soon. Either way, if we take a look at the Guantanamo Bay Cuban naval radar imagery, we can see that we're getting in on the moderate to heavy rainfall now, lashing the western peninsula of Haiti already. We see the blues, the greens, the yellows, oranges, some moderate to heavy rainfall for sure. We can also make out some of that rainfall affecting sections of Portland as we speak, and that's going to be continuing tonight into tomorrow. Let us take a look at what the Cayman radar is showing. Not seeing much in and around the Cayman Islands, but we can definitely make out that rainfall that's plaguing portions of northern portion of Jamaica or northwestern portion of Jamaica. We're talking about Hanover and St. James, just like what the Cuban Doppler radar was showing. If we take a look at the Barbican cam, not seeing much happening right now. We see the latest time is as of 19:02. We know that's 24-hour time for 7:02 p.m. and we can definitely make out that Barbican definitely in the clear as we speak. Not much taking place, but I'm sure it's going to be a different story as we head into Sunday evening. If we take a look at the temperatures right now, we can see that we have 24 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 26 degrees Celsius in Kingston, and by about 4 a.m. on Sunday, temperature should dip down to about 24 degrees Celsius in both Montego Bay and Kingston. If we take a look at the temperature forecast for tomorrow, this map from the GFS is valid for 18Z on Sunday when calculated. That's about 1 p.m. on Sunday, and we can see Jamaica right here embedded in some grays as well as some slight blue colors that we can see from the key on the right that represents average to slightly below average temperatures. And with the rainfall that's coming tomorrow, it's definitely understandable. Temperatures are definitely going to be cooler than average, especially across the eastern portion of the island. We know the average temperatures for the month of November across Jamaica are around 88 degrees Fahrenheit, and when 88 degrees Fahrenheit is calculated, it's about 31.1 degrees Celsius. So we should be receiving anywhere from 30 to 31 degrees Celsius at most. For Jamaica's temperature on Sunday could definitely be lower than that, maybe anywhere from 27 all the way up to 31, especially in the vicinity of showers and thunderstorms. And we highlighted this, but we're still going to be highlighting it again, where we're going to be having maintenance outages from JPS. So we have to highlight these because sometimes we know that when we have the power outages, it can definitely cause the temperatures to be even hotter, the lack of fan breeze or AC to cool us down. We'll see if we actually get these maintenance outages done considering the rainfall that's expected on Sunday. But as of right now, JPS is stating that Ascot Drive and Walkers Road in St. Catherine will be having maintenance outages between the hours of 8 a.m. and 5:30 p.m. on Sunday. Also, we have Portmore to include areas from 8 West to Hillshire will experience 2 30-minute disruption at start and end of the work. We also have 2 North, 1 North Portmore Country Club, another outage sometime between 12 a.m. and 7 a.m. We're talking about what in the next 5 hours from now they could experience some late night power outages. If I were you, I'd get sleeping now. If you're a late sleeper and you live in these areas, it could be difficult for you to fall asleep in the heat or maybe with the mosquitoes flying around. And finally, this one that's highlighting Sunday again, We're talking about Magati to Balaclava and all road leading off Magati to Niagara and all road leading Cameron Hill, YS Fall, Harris Brooks, Lacovia, Middlesex, Middle Quarters. Outage advisory in effect for 6 a.m. to 12 noon. So if you have clothes to iron, whatever you have to do, get it done tonight. Okay, even although it's set to come back in the afternoon, well, as a matter of fact, with the rainfall coming, there might not even be any outages at all. Sure, JPS is not going to be working out in the rainfall. And if the temperatures are going to be a bit too hot for you on Sunday, please ensure that you try to beat the heat with these tips. Dress down, wear lightweight clothing, and use sunscreen. Check on others, including children, elderly people with medical conditions, and pets. Be cool, stay indoors, and make use of fans and air conditioners. Avoid alcohol and caffeine as they can make dehydration worse. Limit non-essential strenuous activity during the hottest parts of the day. And I cannot stress enough how important it is to always stay hydrated. Drink lots of water. Put away the sugar drinks. Drink water instead all day throughout the day, even if you're not thirsty. If we take a look at the dry air map, we can see a lot of dry air as represented by what we see on the key on the bottom. The yellows, the oranges, the reds, and the whites within those reds. Across the eastern United States are the waters to the east of the United States, the western Caribbean, the Gulf of Mexico right there. But we're starting to get in a lot of moisture. Remember, earlier this week, it was definitely yellow, oranges, reds all across the Caribbean. Now we're starting to get in on more blues. The air is definitely moistening up. And we see the reason, the troughing definitely taking place, the frontal system. So it all makes sense, and it's going to be even more robust tomorrow. Lots of showers, lots of thunderstorms, especially across sections of some eastern parishes in Jamaica. Alright, so let us see what the Saharan dust forecast is showing for 2 p.m. on Sunday. For reference, we have Jamaica right here, and we can clearly see that North America, the Bahamas, the Caribbean, South America, Central America, definitely in the clear, as all of the browns represent the Saharan dust. Should be across the eastern main development region and Africa right there. And we see that it is not that vigorous of a plume. You know, the vigorous plumes are represented by the darker shades of browns that we know can cause very hazy skies, not to mention trigger some amount of respiratory illnesses in some people. We're talking about asthma, sinusitis, you name it, and we're glad that the plumes aren't that vigorous or robust enough to be pushing from east to west across the main development region at all. If we take a look at the wave forecast for tomorrow, we can definitely make out that majority of the Caribbean gonna be experiencing more of those blue colors. We know the blues represent anywhere from 1 to 1.5 meter wave heights. More lighter shades of blues across the Gulf of Mexico, so 0 to 0.5 meter wave height. And that's because the winds across the Caribbean will be averaging anywhere from 10 all the way up to 20 knots, maybe gusting all the way up to 15 knots in some spots. And we see the general direction from the eastern to the central Caribbean from the east, and we see it curving southward across the western and the southwestern Caribbean, so more of a northeasterly kind of flow across those areas. And if we take a closer look at Jamaica in terms of what we're going to be experiencing, we see something that looks more along the lines of an easterly flow. If we look closely, it's more so of an easterly flow, especially on the south coast. We see it right here on the north coast. This is from the Euro though. Let us see what the GFS is showing. GFS is showing more of a northeasterly flow for tomorrow, but we see the easterly flow right here on the south coast. More of a northeasterly flow to the southwest of the island. We'll see exactly what unfolds. I'm believing more so of an easterly flow tomorrow. Let us see how it goes. And the upper level wind shear still coming in from the southwest tomorrow. So some of this rainfall, the high cold cloud tops, the thunderstorms already being pushed up towards the northeast. So whatever happens. Definitely going to be getting a lot of rainfall. Don't be surprised if we get a lot more of the rainfall on the north coast. But as for right now, the rainfall forecast maps are showing a lot of rainfall, especially for eastern Jamaica. This map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are both showing 12 a.m. on Sunday, midnight tonight. And where do we see the blues that represent rainfall? We're seeing the blues across sections of St. James, Trelawney, sections of St. Anne, St. Mary, Portland. We also see some rainfall across sections of St. Thomas. And we see that on both the Euro and the GFS malls. The very same parishes, northern parishes and eastern parishes. Skipping ahead now to about 4 a.m. on Sunday, we see that the rainfall is still going to be plaguing portions of northern parishes for sure. We see the blues, GFS showing something similar, but we're starting to get in on the deeper colors now, the darker blues, the greens, the yellows on the Euro. GFS even more robust, getting all the way up into the oranges and the pinks. Keep in mind that these are 1 hour total, so this is ridiculous if some of this actually comes on land. This is valid for 7 a.m. on Sunday. Still seeing a lot of rainfall plaguing northern parishes on the Euro. GFS starting to put more of the rainfall into most eastern parishes. We're talking about Portland, St. Thomas, Kingston, St. Andrew. Some of this spilling into sections of St. Catherine and St. Anne as well as St. Mary. Look at all of this pushing westward. Skipping ahead now to about 1 p.m. We see the rainfall surrounding the island. We see the rainfall on top of us, all the way from eastern to the central to the western portions of the island. But look at what the GFS is showing. This is ridiculous if it actually happened. We're seeing greens, we're seeing yellows, we're seeing oranges, we're seeing pinks into the reds. For especially the southeast, we're talking about St. Thomas, Kingston, St. Andrew, St. Catherine, section of Clarendon right there. If this actually verifies, we're going to be in a lot of trouble, and the GFS has been persisting with showing some of this rainfall. It was more so persistent into Monday and Tuesday, but it's shocking that it's being shown for Sunday now. That's a lot of rainfall. Skipping ahead now to 4 p.m. we still see a lot of rainfall that's going to be plaguing portions of especially the south and the eastern sides of the island. Let's see exactly what unfolds. This is 4 p.m. That's flood triggering rainfall right there. Skipping ahead now to 7 p.m. Not much change. Still having a lot of rainfall stretching from the east to the west. Then we're wrapping it up at 10 p.m. We see a lot of rainfall in and around the island for sure. Both the Euro and the GFS malls showing that rainfall. But we're starting to see more whites than anything else across section of some central and western parishes. Maybe a lack of rainfall. Maybe it could still be raining there. We'll see exactly what unfolds as the day progresses on Sunday. Get yourselves ready. Lots of rainfall coming and flood triggering rainfall at that. So here we have some flood safety tips. So before the flood, it states here, stay informed on local news. Local, we're talking about what's happening in Jamaica. Stay informed with Weather Jamaica. Stay informed with your local meteorological agencies. We're talking about Weather Girl Danny, Mr. Weatherman, Meteo Mundo, the Meteorological Service of Jamaica. I'm not seeing anything from the NHC, the U.S. National Hurricane Center, but we know that we can get flooding regardless of what they highlight. So stay informed on what's happening. I will try to do some live streaming, if not tomorrow, maybe Monday or Tuesday, regarding what's happening across the island in terms of the weather. We can also see another tip right here sitting, prepare an emergency bag with food, drugs, documents, flashlights, pet items, know how to evacuate and safe alternative route, leave before flooding start. In flood prone areas, keep useful items at home, sandbags, ladder, rope. During the flood, they've stated here, disconnect electricity and gas, don't walk or drive in flood water, get to a higher ground, follow evacuation orders, free cattle and lead animals to a safer place. And after the flood, it states here, avoid contact with flood water and swimming, don't touch power lines, don't go home or to disaster areas until it is declared safe. Communicate to your family that you are safe, and when you're back home, clean and disinfect surfaces and items. Here we have some more tips. These are the ones that persons usually get caught up in especially in Jamaica. Turn around, don't drown. Rapid flowing streams or ditches can sweep you off your feet and your vehicle downstream. We've seen how many of these things happen within the past decade across Jamaica. Guys, turn around, don't drown. Let the water recede. There's no rush to go home or go to work. Trust me. There's no rush to lose your life. Remain alert if you live in flood-prone areas. Move to higher ground if flooding threatens. Use caution at night. Stay out of flooded areas. Water may still be rising and very swift. Do not allow children to play in or around flowing water. Flood waters can hide rocks, trees, and debris. And we can see the accumulated precipitation forecast from now up until 10 p.m. on Sunday. Shows that there's going to be a lot of rainfall. The Euro a bit less robust than what the GFS is showing, but we see the greens, we see the yellows, we see the oranges into the reds. Especially for eastern Jamaica, the Euro is showing up to 1 inch of rainfall or more up into the eastern portion of Portland and St. Thomas. GFS now showing the rainfall even more so across sections of some northern parishes, from 0.72 rising the more east we go on the north coast, 0.8 in St. Anne, 0.83 in maybe Ocho Rios, 1.05 St. Mir, 2.61 in Portland. But look, St. Thomas, where I live, gonna be getting on the brunt of the rainfall. Boy, I hope there's no power outage for me tomorrow, because I would really love to live stream. I see 3.75 if this actually verifies from the GFS. 3.75 inches of rainfall, 2.3 inches of rainfall in Kingston, St. Andrew, 1.35 inches of rainfall in Clarendon. That's a lot of rainfall. If that actually verifies /flooding, it's definitely gonna be a problem, and we've seen it. It's all courtesy of what we saw here, very colorful on the GFS model. Boy, I think it's safe to say that given the rainfall that we've had from Raphael, we've exceeded the rainfall that we usually receive for the month of November across the island of Jamaica. In Kingston, whose bar graph is being shown right here at the top, we usually receive up to 50 millimeters of rainfall for the month. That's 2 inches of rainfall. In Montego Bay, whose bar graph is being shown right here at the bottom, we usually receive up to 5 inches of rainfall. That's about 125 millimeters of rainfall. And I'd like for you to keep in mind that if you'd like to find out what your specific parish receives throughout the year in terms of rainfall, you can visit weatherandclimate.com and they'll show you that information. And you can use this nice graphic right here that shows us the equivalent of rainfall and the rain gauge from inches to millimeters. We know that 1 inch of rainfall is about the same as 25 millimeters of rainfall, so you can do the math yourself. Alright, so that's it for the forecast across Jamaica. Let us focus our attention on the rest of the Caribbean. So as stated, we have the clouds associated with the frontal system, definitely bringing some rainfall, some windy conditions still to portions of the Bahamas, the Turks and Caicos, eastern Cuba, sections of Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, spilling into portions of Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama for sure. The trough definitely bringing some heavy weather to portions of Haiti and the Dominican Republic as we speak. We see another trough definitely lashing portions of especially the Windward Islands, so anywhere from Dominica southward, getting in some amount of rainfall. We're talking about Martinique, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada, Barbados, Trinidad and Tobago, section of Venezuela, Guyana, Suriname, French Guyana, the usual rainfall across section of Colombia right there. And if we take a look at the Doppler radar images of the northeastern Caribbean, so this latest image just came out at 7:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, considering that it's 7:19 p.m. now, so this just came out 9 minutes ago. We can make out some rainfall across sections of northern Puerto Rico, eastern portion of the Dominican Republic. We can also make out some rainfall in and around St. Kitts and Nevis, Anguilla, Antigua and Barbuda, Guadeloupe, Dominica, definitely getting in some heavy rainfall as we speak. And if we load these images from earlier today at about 1:30, we're seeing that the Dominican Republic definitely was getting in on some heavy rainfall. See some rainfall pushing in from the east into portion of the Guadeloupe and Dominica right there. And if we take a look at the Barbados radar, not seeing much happening across Barbados right now, but they were definitely getting in on it earlier. We see some isolated shores right there to the east of Barbados, could make it into Barbados later on tonight. We can see a lot of rainfall now lashing portion of Dominica, Martinique, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada. We see a huge rain band coming in from the east to affect section of Tobago right now. Not seeing much happening across Trinidad right now, but it was definitely raining there earlier today, so more rainfall could definitely be in store for them. If we take a look at the weather view of Doppler radar images, we can see some rainfall across the waters to the east of Nicaragua, rainfall across section of Colombia, section of eastern Nicaragua as well. And if we take a look at where the rainfall is expected within the next 24 hours, this map from the GFS and this map from the Euro are both showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until 10 p.m. on Sunday. And we can see the greens into the yellows and the oranges. They represent anywhere from the 0.1 all the way to 0.75 for an inch of rainfall. Well, we're going to be getting on the reds and the burgundies into the purples, especially across southeastern Jamaica, sections of northwestern Panama, eastern Costa Rica right there, waters to the south of the western peninsula of Haiti for sure. We also see some rainfall in store for portions of eastern Cuba, the southern Bahamas, Turks and Caicos, the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, the US and British Virgin Islands. We're talking about St. Martin, St. Kitts and Nevis, Anguilla, Antigua and Barbuda, St. Barth, section of Guadeloupe, Dominica, Martinique, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada, Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados. We see rainfall definitely in store for a section of Guyana, Suriname, French Guyana, Venezuela, the ABC Islands, Colombia, Panama, Costa Rica, eastern Nicaragua, northern Honduras, and portion of the eastern peninsula, the Yucatan Peninsula right there. And we see that both the Euro and the GFS models are in consensus with this forecast. And we know that when they're in consensus like this, the chances of it actually happening are much higher. Alright, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching.